Good morning. Welcome to ATI Pro Media. We are powered by advanced trading. Before we get started in the show, if you have time, drop us a comment or a question. Were you affected by the storms last night? We were here in northern Indiana. We had a tornado real close to the house. I was one of those dumb people who said, I'm going to go upstairs and look outside. I peeked out the window and I ran back in the basement and said, no, there's something going on out there. We lost a tree in the front yard, didn't hit the house, didn't hit the cars. Driving around Valparaiso, Indiana this morning, a lot of branches everywhere. But what's that mean to you? Do you have down corn? Send a picture. Email us a picture. Info at ATI Pro Media. We'll pop them up on the show. I will say, full disclaimer: if your marketing plan is hoping your corn blows down, that's not a good marketing plan. We're in the bushel business. I'm going to go over the markets, and B Huck's going to come in, and we're going to talk. So drop a comment, a question about these storms if they affected you. I will say this: there's some phenomenal live streaming weather guys that they literally were calling out where they thought they saw storms, and they called one out a mile and a half from my house, and that's when I realized the seriousness of this. So hopefully everyone's safe. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things going on in the markets. There's a lot of things going on politically. We have a lot of things going on in the stock market. That's not exactly what we do, but we do like to talk about it. All right, let's take it to LaSalle Street, and then Brady Huck will come in, and we'll talk about what we got going today. All right, D's corn up 3 3/4. Sep soybeans up 1.5. No beans up 1. Meal unchanged. Oil up 36. Wheat. Border trade wheat up 1.5. KC down 3.5. Hard red spring up 1. Moving to cattle. August cattle. That's what I'm quoting. Brady might tell me, hey, maybe quote something else. Light volume there. Probably should move on from those. But August cattle up just a smidge. Feeder cattle, August feeder cattle down a little bit. Hogs, again, another good performance here in August. Hogs up 140. Looking over to Wall Street, metals, gold up 20, silver up a little bit. And looking at interest rates, we're seeing those calm down. 2s, 5s, 10s, 30s, all up on the day. That means rates are going down a little bit. Little talk, little buzz on the outside that rates could be going down a lot, not only in America, but across the world here as we come to the end of the year. Big mover today, crude oil down $1.30. That's been trending up. This is where it gets interesting. Natural gas up a little, 21.88. If you remember yesterday, I quoted natural gas. It was 2,222. Natural gas really becoming affordable if you need to get your fuel needs bought. Okay, this is interesting, folks. Dow Jones up 475. Ring the bell on the Dow Jones if you have a 401k. NASDAQ down 53. S&P up 11, seeing some divergence there. Bitcoin taking it pretty easy today, unchanged. Dr. Copper down 9, a lot of moves. All right, bring him in. Brady Huck. Probably a quick show today because this old man wasn't hooked up to a good night's sleep. Our power went out. We didn't get power back till 2:30. Everyone's safe. No complaints, but normal stuff. Be prepared, like they taught us in Boy Scouts. Be prepared. You never know. When the power goes out, it's hard to see where everything is in the garage to get the generator out. But hey, maybe if corn goes up $1, I'll get one of those Generac generators that just hooks up to the natural gas and goes. Is everyone safe
Yeah,
by your house, Brady?
we're good. Yeah, storms were way far from us, but we know what it's like. It's we get those from time to time here, and it was interesting to hear the commentary about some pictures floating around, and tornado comes through, and thank goodness everybody's safe. But I some people embrace their true Kansas spirit and go outside, sit on the front porch, and look at that tornado coming by, and run back in the house to safety, which is probably the smart thing to do. But
Yeah, we had a coworker. I don't remember who it was, but I saw a picture of a big dark storm that some very powerful storms went by Advanced Trading Corporate down by Bloomington Downs. That gentleman on that live stream, it wasn't our number guy. It wasn't our normal guy. It wasn't Ryan. It was a different guy. But I sent out a text to ATI
yeah,
clients and pro clients. I found it fascinating. When the power was out, we kept watching him on our phones because that's all we had to do.
uh-huh,
And I think he probably helped save some people, get them in a safe place.
yeah.
With that, the storms have moved on. The market's moving on. If there's significant damage, I don't think I did see the excitement in the markets last night. They opened up down, Brady, and immediately popped. I'm like, doggone it. They flattened Iowa. This is a repeat of
Yeah.
several years ago. How do you pronounce what happened?
Derecho? Is that what is that what it is? I
Yeah.
loved your premium comment of last night in the premium episode when you said, "I sounds like I'm ordering something at a restaurant here," which it
Yeah,
kind
I
of
didn't know if
does.
I
But
got the platter or what, but I was a little rattled last night because I knew the storms were coming. We had kids traveling. I'm like, all right,
yeah,
here, everyone, this is what's going on. Stay safe. Yeah, we had some texts from clients. I didn't get the my corn's all blown down, but I did get from Northern Illinois clients in Northern Indiana. We have way too much.
okay,
And I think when you get too much water, you get like my tree did in the front yard. It just soaked with water and a little
yeah.
blow it down. We could stay dry for a long time here and be all right with no moisture in this area. Interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, yeah. Well, rain in July, usually it's a good thing, and I guess maybe the greater good across the whole swath. Maybe there's some micro pockets of damage. Hopefully that's just what it is. And but like you said in the opening monologue there, if your marketing plan is for your neighbor's corn to blow down and you to get a higher price, that's probably not the best marketing plan.
And I think if it does affect the markets, which it could, you got to be out in that March timeframe, May. It could be a whole year, and then we find out over the course of bad things happening, we lost X amount of bushels. But I
Mhm.
think what's going to bother people is there's more good than bad when it comes to the overall crop health. But it's interesting. We'll watch Pro Farmer Crop Tour probably about 4 or 5 weeks from that. They'll roll through. Hey, if you're out there and you have information on the storm and you really think it's all gone, let us know. If you think it's a nothing burger, I don't think it's nothing burger because I seen what it did. You guys, I was late to the show. It took me a long time to get down here, get everything on.
Mhm.
One thing that happened. This is funny. Remember, I showed you guys a picture of my setup the other day. Well, those
Yeah.
lights have batteries in them. And so what
Okay.
happened when the power went out last night, I unscrewed my lights and brought them upstairs, and it was beautifully lit upstairs in the living room. And we
Nice.
listened to, I had a speaker that was powered up, and we listened to some
Uh-huh.
music. And then we went upstairs. And I can tell you the upstairs gets very hot without an air conditioner. So very
I
spoiled
bet
here in
so.
Valparaiso, Indiana. I told my wife, I said, it's like we're camping, but I didn't want to go camping tonight.
Didn't sign up for this,
I
but
didn't sign
not
up for
today.
camping. No, not Monday night camping. All right.
Yeah.
What do you got for charts and other stuff? We can get out of here, talk premium. You might want to talk
Yeah.
ghetto, and we'll get out of here. Thanks, Brady.
Roll through those headlines there. The Derecho storm. We just kind of covered that. Swath through Iowa and Illinois. Another headline we got popping up here: Brazil corn harvest wrapping up at 74% complete versus 39% a year ago. Those bushels are going to be hitting the market and competing with U.S. export business when that safrinha corn crop gets finished up. It's got to go to the pipeline out the door and to other buyers. So that's kind of going to compete with our corn exports going forward, but happens every year. Here's a good graphic Connor put together for us. Thank you for finding this out. This is a farm doc graphic, I believe, but just illustrates the size of the Brazil corn production crop. Just maybe it's a little off of a year ago, 4.5 million bushels, but it's still significant. Pretty big crop out there to compete with on the whole front. But
Right.
I don't know. What do we
I,
got? We're
I
rolling
think
through
I
these
think we're
graphics.
quoting that wrong. Is that you said 4.5 million bushels? Is that
Maybe it's built.
4.5? It's
Yeah.
in million bushels, but
Okay.
that I think we're saying the number wrong.
4.5 billion probably.
I think so, but price check on Iowa Connor, give us a heads up. But go back to 2015, 2016. They're like, the South American crop was small. Well, 2015, 2016, it was 26.19. 2021, it was 34.29. If you're going to call up 45.61, regardless if it's bushels, ounces, or gallons or liters, I don't care. It's slightly off 22, 23. And so first crop, second crop, third crop. That's interesting. I didn't know about the third crop news to me.
Mhm.
Hello, ring the bell. Third crop. What's going on here? Looks like we need Dr. Cruz to come on and give us some more education because
Yeah,
looks like South America plants and then replants and then plants and then plants some more and then they rinse, wash, and repeat. They are not trying to plant less to help the American farmer. Is that a true statement?
agree. Yeah, that's, got to watch what's in our backyard, but we got a lot of other pieces that can fill the gap there. So,
Speaking of our backyard, Mother Nature was large and in charge. Do you have a rainfall map? I believe that some of the corporate sent us. Is that Connor B territory down there? That purple?
it looks quite
No, he's
possibly.
shaking us
No,
off. He's shaking us off
no.
like we're throwing bad pitches. No, someone got a lot of rain there, and let's see, purple. That's a lot. That's in the a lot category. We're looking 4, 5, 6 inches. I'm up there in the little blue, so not
Okay.
as much rain as wind and just
But the
blowing
wind.
around green. It wasn't the super soaker. I do have some clients I need to talk to in Northern Illinois, see how they're doing. Their concern, Brady, was they were already wet, and they're like, "We do not need this rain." Pretty wild to hear a Northern Illinois farmer shake off a rain on July 15th. We don't need
Yeah,
any more water. Interesting
that
with
is.
that. It's going to be a short show, our version of a short show, right? Only an hour. What do you got for cattle? And I really do need to hop out of here. I got a couple personal things I need
Yeah.
to do. Yeah, I told Gina I have a chainsaw and I can cut that tree, but we have a coworker who I think got hurt really bad with the chainsaw, and I was thinking,
Mm,
Tommy, cut the tree and save a couple $100, or have someone else do it. I will
yeah.
be back here tomorrow. I
Chainsaws
promise
scare
you.
me.
Chainsaws are
Chainsaws
dangerous.
scare me. Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
especially with city slickers like me. Concrete jungle boys should not be using chainsaws. Adults only. Features and options have risk, and so do chainsaws. Back to you, Brady.
Yeah. Oh, I got a chainsaw story to tell you sometime off air here. Yeah,
Well, we have time. Save it for
cattle market.
premium.
Yeah,
Save it for premium. Chainsaw Stories, Brady
yeah.
Huck Premium. Cattle market, sir.
Cattle market. Well, cash is steady to maybe a tick lower called here this week. Most of the trade happens towards the latter end of the week. Not a whole lot of trade happening yet, but the tone has been kind of a little bit weaker. Weights, carcass weights are still up. I think they're up 27 pounds versus a year ago, Tommy. So we're making more beef with less animals. That tone hasn't changed much. The cutout, lean beef is supporting the cutout. You got the chuck and the round that are, just they're significantly higher than they typically are, and they are supporting the cutout. And that leaves the cutout very susceptible to a sell-off. When you got high-priced beef and high-priced products, people are going to buy more hamburger. They're maybe not going to pay up for those prime cuts. They'll be okay with a choice steak if they can afford a steak. And we got to compete with pork and chicken and the other products. So high prices kind of tend to cure high prices. The biggest thing to me on the cattle front is that discount of August live cattle futures with the current cash market. And is that going to come together? The live cattle futures contract is far from a perfect tool, but they do come together sometimes, not all the time. But we'll see what happens there on that August live cattle front, as we got a few more weeks for that to come together and see on that front. But it makes it very difficult to go out and hedge cattle on the fat cattle side of things. If you're a cow calf guy looking at the feeder cattle index, the feeder cattle futures, you've got a good tool there, a good product with LRP puts, strategies there. You can go out and protect really attractive values. But if you're buying 800-pound steers and putting them on feed, they are unhedgeable right now with the positive basis and the discount in the futures market out there. But is that an indication of funds' appetite to be long this market? I don't know, Tommy. It's a head scratcher.
Mhm. Did you see that email? I lightly saw it. I was out walking. Kurt Struber sent an email about them maybe asking for input on a couple changes to, was that the hog contract?
They're doing
LC or
a
LH?
live cat
Let me see what Kurt
on
sent.
live cattle. There's meetings going on that we've actually been a part of and talking with them about some changes potentially to try to make the tool better. At the end of the day, we want the tool to be an effective way to manage risk and help producers lay off risk and transfer that risk to somebody else, a speculator, versus being a captive marketer, captive producer. But yeah, there's some circulation there on. They do annual type periodic
Okay.
reviews of those contracts, and yeah,
Yeah, I
we've
guess
actually been a part of those.
right. So just to give people full disclosure, the CME group changes things. I remember when they changed the structure of the corn contract, it was a big deal. They have
Mhm.
in the wheat, they have VSR, and I know how much that affected the border trade wheat spreaders and how they traded
Mhm.
spreads during the delivery and whatnot. But do stay up to date on what limit up, limit down is on futures, what the contract specs are. They're not, they do change, and it could affect people. Cash delivery versus physical versus cash settled. There's all types of things. It gets interesting. But
Mhm.
nonetheless, that's awesome. You're part of that. I won't ask you today, but if you could make a perfect contract, what would you do? Just think about that. Real quick, yesterday we did talk. We'll talk premium real quick, and we'll get out of here. But yesterday we talked about bad storms versus big crops. Talked about that. Gave people some good links, some live stream weather people. Talked about what was going on in my area. What I noticed while I was filming that was this storm had the whole front line had 8 to 10 tornadoes going the whole time from north to south. We did have a tornado touchdown towards O'Hare Airport. That was interesting. But today, I think we're going to have another premium here talking about crop insurance and how that
Okay.
works here because, whew, hate to say it, but we're there for many of
Important
you.
topic to be talking about right now when we look at 24 stuff, right?
Yeah, I do hear clients saying, "I'm not sure if I'm gonna send the planes up to spray." Should
Mhm.
I spray 350 corn? That's not for me to decide. I'm not even qualified to make a judgment call like that. I'm just telling you the chatter I hear.
Yeah.
I don't see how you're going to win with less bushels. Um, but I've never seen a baseball team say, "Let's get less hits and we're going to pull this off." Right? We need bushels. Robert Bannock, let's guess. Derecho exposed a bunch of empty bins again. Shocker. I would imagine people who are disciplined who emptied their bins are completely empty. I imagine there were some full bins out there that's going to shock you as people bag corn here this harvest because the spreads and basis and everything else says there's a lot of grain out there. But crazy things are happening. Stick around 6 months or a year from now, and we'll see where the markets are. If you don't believe they should be here, you have the opportunity to do futures and options and can take the other side by limiting your risk, buying a call or call spread, and gaining that upside back. Great comment. And I have a great solution. Next comment or question. What do we have? Tony Dunker, you read it because it says Brady.
Oh, there we go. Showing rain in Dodge City today. Hopefully, yeah, we could use a top off here. It's been a little bit. We've been so blessed this summer. It's been a beautiful summer. The grass is belly high on those cows. We're just very lucky out here in the southwest part of the state. Corn's tabletop out in some of this western Kansas area just looks beautiful if you avoided the hailstorms. But yeah, another chance of rain this evening. We're looking forward to it and a cool off. Gosh, Tommy, it's been 105, 106 degrees the last few days. And I think the high today, tomorrow is going to be 85 for a 5-6 day stretch. So really looking forward to a
I
nice
like the
cool
way
off.
that sounds. Yeah. Always fascinating how well cattle do in heat. Always makes me think they do bad, but you see cattle in extremes. You see them raised in Canada and negative
Mhm.
something, negative 20s. And they seem to bed down and do okay, and they do okay in the heat. Which is worse? Amateur question: massive
Okay.
heat or massive cold for cattle?
Depends what you're dealing with. I'd say whatever you're dealing with at the time is worse. If it's freezing, minus 20 below and you're calving out some
Yeah,
heifers in
that's the problem.
January, that sucks. And that ain't no fun. But if it's 110, 120 heat index level and you got a bunch of fat steers in the feed yard in August, you're trembling a little bit, hoping that they can keep it together and get to the other side too.
Very
Yeah.
good. All right. Brady Huck, Dodge City, Kansas, Time Grisafi, Valparaiso, Indiana. If you have pictures of storms, if you're concerned, give us a call, 1-855-737-FARM, info@ATI Pro Media. We all hope you're safe. We'll do this again tomorrow. We'll have premium coming out after the close. And with that, if we miss something, call us. Yesterday we struck a nerve with some people. We had several emails, several calls, several texts. We like that. Drop your comments on our YouTube on the thing. We see them all. We might not address them all. And with that, we'll see you tomorrow. See you, Brady. Great job.
Yep. See ya.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.